How to weigh gold. First, you'll need to examine the item and see if it contains any gemstones. If it does, you will have to decide if you want to remove the gemstone or if you want to keep them in. Number 1. Don't remove nice gemstones. If a gemstone is nice, leave it in. A lot can go wrong when you remove a gemstone. For instance, it might have a crack in it, which will cause it to shatter when it comes out. The customer might get angry if it shatters, especially if it's not happy with the amount you're willing to pay for its gold. If you keep them in, you won't get an accurate reading on the scale, since the gemstone will make them heavier. With that in mind, you might want to use your needle nose pliers for removing the gemstones. However, there are a few times when you will want to leave the gemstone in. If the piece has a nice gemstone, just keep it in and weigh the item. Then count the weight of the gemstone toward the weight of the gold. For instance, if you have a ring with a diamond that weighs 5 grams, you will pay the person for 5 grams worth of gold. This will likely work out in your favor, since you can turn around and sell nice gemstones. Number 2. Don't remove a gemstone if your customer doesn't want to remove it. If your customer doesn't want you to remove the gemstone, leave it in. If you don't feel comfortable weighing the gold with the stone in, you can tell him that you cannot buy his gold. Then he cannot decide if he wants you to remove the stone or if he wants to remove one. Number 3. Don't remove gemstone if you don't have to remove it. Over time, you will get comfortable with eyeballing gemstone and guessing their weight. If you are comfortable doing that, and if the customer agrees, don't take the gemstone out, just weigh the entire piece and then subtract the weight of the gemstone. Once you determine what you are going to do with the gemstone, you will be ready to weigh the gold. Turn your scale on and hit the tare button. This will cause the scale to zero out. If you don't have much gold, you can just place it on the scale and weigh it. However, if you have a lot of gold, put a container on the scale, hit the tare button again, then place your gold in the container and get your reading. Write down how much the gold weighs, then you need to put your scale away. Put the scale in a bag to protect it. Also, if it's somewhere where it will be safe, such as your briefcase, be sure to put your scale away each time. If it gets bumped around too much, it will stop giving accurate readings.